on tonight's Late IHP Show with lovely Maria, your one and only, I would not say that. I'm sure there's plenty of Marias out there, mystics, enlightenment, and functional adults. 5D, not 4D. So there's a difference. The 5D, we know the narrative of human love, and we know that some people come from the narrative of human suffering and are like, wow, human love, way better. Because seriously, that suffering bit was not fun for us, and it was not our actual home. So people who understand that human suffering is not a must, with the good psych educators, not the ancient silverbacks. So here's the difference. A 5D person will not be looking for the shiny of the silverbacks that grab the pain point, and they actually have a whole way, I'm an online marketer, that the stories go. They decide how to pick a pain point, but it's not only marketers with companies. No, it's anyone who just picks on, oh, that's the human suffering bit, let's go grab it. And it's actually something I uncovered is not a trend, but it is the calling. Apparently only if you're in pain, and in this case suffering would be human, emotional, really in-depth pain, other than physical pain. So like for me, when I get into physical pain, I'm immediately doing everything I can to get out of it. And the due diligence. Sometimes I get sloppy, like with my back exercises. And yes, I get crapped on, rightly so, by my loved ones about having not kept up with my back exercises. So when you are a smart, stable, mature, adaptive, rational, and teachable human being, 5D collective, we don't wait till a huge tower moment. Now, sometimes, of course, we all grow up from our immature age to adulthood. So young adulthood, we have tower moments. I know I had one big tower moment. Now I have little small ones. They're little tweak ones. They're not really tower moments. In fact, the other fun part about the human love narrative is that we don't have these humongous tower moments because we know how to listen to our own shiny. It's our own head, the left and right mode of our brain. So we move into what is called a whole 3-year-old heart, no shame or defectiveness button. So we're very direct. It's called secure attachment as well. And that's why we don't sit in our temporal junction and do the suffering, which is rumination. As I was trying to say, emotions, when you look at a lot of different studies, they last, I think it was one of my webinars or one of my courses, or maybe more than one, was like 60 seconds. But don't quote me on it because I don't remember the specific number, but it's a really short time. And this therapist was explaining, imagine, so the emotion comes and it goes. It doesn't have to sit for a long time. And in fact, here's what makes the 5D mystic different than a 4D one and also a 5D functional adult. The human love narrative. So we don't be like, oh my gosh, all people are horrible. Oh no, the world is crap. Oh, look at them again. They're doing it again. No, that's actually not. It's more of, well, they are driven by their brain, which is an anticipatory organ. So rightly so, it will look for and hone in on that which is dangerous. Since they began, all of us, me included, honing in on that which was dangerous since the minute we began engaging with life, there's a lot of things they don't really know. Their brain's like, no. And then they hone in on the stereotypes, the generalizations, and all the human suffering narrative, which is all over the place, with the ancient silverbacks who are the breadcrumbs of those subject matter experts, because there's two groups. There's the human love group, and they're expanding with all of their information. In fact, it's very beautiful. It's not toxic positivity. The only people who do toxic positivity are the same ones who lie to themselves about the emotions within their self. And so it's not being positive, because love is not about positive. It's actually the feeling you feel. So when you have an integrated brain, which this is, again, you're using your left, the chit-chatter one, all the sensations that arise from the right, your left's like, wow, look, I have sensations. Even if they're uncomfortable, I can sit in them because I'm not physically dying. I don't have to be alerted. There's no danger when I'm looking in the eyes of a person. Again, 5D, 3-year-old whole heart. We don't have trauma memory lingering, and we don't have a trauma safety behavior response of our nervous system and of our brain. This is very important because a lot of people don't really know that. If they're used to having a default mode network that actually activates when they're re-traumatizing themselves, which is not a choice. It's actually if you began life in a certain way. So that's why it's sad that people can get out of the human suffering narrative if only all of the ancient silverbacks would stop being dickwads to their subject matter colleagues who have found other ways that humans can consistently utilize their usually very good brain. Actually, we've evolved to this thanks to REM sleep. Thank you, Patrick McNamara. Neuroscientists know all about it. The 4D mystics seem to just be very lost in the fact that they get attacked every now and then, in these peak ascension moments, like right now, by dark and or light, and they have this whole battle going on. AI apparently is part of it. The one percentiles, all the conspiracy, you just name every single one of those stories. And they're also talking about prophetic messages. So they've taken ancient scripture and they're reading it to people. And they're like, yeah, I'm a mystic. Now, they do have clairs and they see things in their mind's eye. I know that. But they have trauma memory that's trying to get time stamped. Their brain's trying to heal itself. But because they don't take the good therapist seriously, you know, they're more of, nope, I got sick because there's an entity that has had a spell on me and now they're attacking me because they're jealous of me, and so is my ex, and so are all of the friends and the third parties, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, so on that note, remember what you believe is actually what you're giving permission to. And a good mystic will tell you that, but apparently the 4D mystics seem to forget, or I don't know, maybe they're not hearing. And that's probably what it is, because the trauma memory is not only just a charge that they won't even notice. Really, as I was saying, the frontal lobes flop down, and that neuroplasticity agent is going to be used with the amygdala because they're alert, 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 although the brain doesn't move, but their amygdala is alerted. They see a human because they have unsafe feelings in their body when looking in the eyes of another human being, because when you have unresolved trauma, and especially if there's childhood trauma, and you know, uncovering that one needs to be the choice of the person. Because usually there's going to be, no, I don't know why you're insulting me. Because rightly so, they're going to be like, had a perfect childhood. Even though I'm about to throw up when I see a child being treated as a child, and I want that child to already be able to be a grown-up and to do things that grown-ups can do, because I did not get a childhood-centric environment where I was able to be happy, giggly, and like any other child. Ancient silverbacks like to say we're going soft. So there's your two groups. There's the smart people who are going soft. No, we're just smart enough to know how to listen to the sciences and are not with the flat earthers. Love you, flat earthers, but really. So the ancient silverbacks, they just have the thing to say, the ancients, they're more superior than sciences because they've existed for longer. They have to know more. And then you all, with your technology, are demons and devils, and you know, so it's not a battle of spiritual anything. It's really a battle, and it's not a battle. It's some people don't know how to get data, use their clairs, and understand that, yes, there is a sphere of energy. In fact, I have to watch a couple of videos on sciences and spirituality. Once I watch those, I'll have some verbiage from our sciences plane that explains the sphere of consciousness. And see, because they're not in a competition, Enlightenment, the human way. So Enlightenment Soul Age Group, the human way, are people who understand that sciences and spirituality and spiritual metaphysics, esotericism, none of this in a competition. That's why I'm a mystic, Enlightenment, functional doll. I get to speak to people who have human love again. So that means that either one, they're with a good therapist, healing trauma if there's any, and they love to have secure attachment relationships. So we don't have the ego-sensitive ones who actually have unresolved trauma. They're yelling and hurting their body, and they're creating a separation, and they're creating groups, and they're creating more unsafe environment for everyone. And they're saying they want to help people. It seems they want to perpetuate human suffering by allowing themselves to say, no, everybody has to suffer. No, some don't, because we have a window of welcome for our emotions. It's called human love. It's our nature. When we're in, though, a safe body, and that means restorative embodied self and integrated brain, and so that you're able to process all that arises. So like I and other 5D mystics have emotional windows of welcome. And any person who chooses the human love narrative, and yes, the pink tainted glasses, because see, at least our pink tainted glasses help us to use the REM to expand our species. So disparate ideas come together, but not in nightmare form. It's in other forms, with our oversoul, with humanity, and we get to be creative and evolve and protect the future and move into tomorrow, while the other ones say we're all going to quote unquote hell, which is not true. They are just living hell in their human suffering body, because it's sad when you don't get to move into your restorative embodied self. The shame, defectiveness, heartbreak, gut wrench, and self-loathing is lived within the body of people. So be kind and be compassionate to each other, and remember, we don't live in other people's bodies. They can choose to do good therapy, and we can be choosing to be good friends and lovers and